In a franchise filled with power-ups, rivalries, and world-ending battles, Gohan stood out from the very start. He wasn't just another fighter chasing strength, he was something entirely different. A kid born into chaos, shaped by trauma, and constantly torn between two worlds. The life of a warrior and the path of peace. For years, Dragon Ball hinted that Gohan would be the one to lead the next generation, not just as a powerful fighter, but as the emotional core of the series. But as the story evolved, so did his role, and not always for the better. What was once a tale of untapped greatness slowly became one of missed opportunities. Or so it seemed. So today, let's take a deeper look to one of its most controversial characters. How did Gohan go from Dragon Ball Z's brightest star to one of its most controversial characters? And more importantly, was that decline ever really a failure? Before we dive further into the topic, welcome to the Dragon of Samsara, where we'll cover everything anime, from discussions to lore drops, Q&As, and what-ifs. You'll find all the latest anime and manga news here. We post a video once a week, so consider subscribing if you like the video, so you don't miss the next one. With Victory Uchida confirming that the Dragon Ball Super manga won't be returning, this year I'm going to focus more on video essays like this for the rest of the year. Let me know what else you'd like to see in the comments. That being said, let's get into the video. A child of both warrior and scholar, instinct and intellect, his hidden power became the source of some of Z's most iconic moments, then stalled, then vanished. The rage against Raditz, the training with Piccolo, first Super Saiyan 2, transformation that shook the entire fandom. A husband, a father, a scholar, and for some fans, a disappointment. He wasn't just the son of a legend, he was meant to surpass him. And more importantly, was that decline ever really a failure? He wasn't just another fighter thrown into the mix, he was a mystery. A child prodigy with latent strength that dwarfed expectations, born with more power than even seasoned warriors. But his strength came from somewhere different. Not training, not discipline, not even pride. It came from emotion, from fear, from love. Alone in the wilderness at just 4 years old, fighting for survival, he doesn't choose this path. It's forced on him. But he adapts, grows, learns. And crucially, he bonds with Piccolo, who slowly shifts from cold mentor to surrogate father. For the first time in the series, Goku steps back. It's no longer about the main character overcoming the villain. It's about legacy. Goku sees something in Gohan, not just strength, but a higher ceiling. A potential that could surpass all limits. This relationship is key. It introduces a new kind of emotional core to Dragon Ball. Gohan isn't just being trained to fight, he's growing up. Of pain, of grief, of loss, and ultimately, of Gohan choosing to unleash his power, even if it terrifies him. The death of Android 16 is the catalyst, but the build-up had been years in the making. This wasn't a rage boost, it was destiny snapping into place. Despite his potential, he was overshadowed by others. His power-ups, like the Mystic Ultimate Form unlocked by Old Kai, felt underused and came late in the story. The emotional core of the saga centered around Goku and Vegeta's battles, while Gohan's moment to lead was fleeting, right? Like the passing of a torch. The serious emotional character who defeated Cell became the punchline, a far cry from the unstoppable force he once was. His power was downplayed, and he rarely got to shine in battles that mattered. His battle against powerful foes like Dispo and other universe, 11 warriors showcased that his skills and intellect had anti-faded. It was a return to form. Tactical, strategic, and still powerful. The narrative focus shifted back to Goku and Vegeta, leaving Gohan in the background. Gohan's fighting style leaned heavily on technique and brain over brute strength. A refreshing change, but one that didn't always stand out amid the flashy transformations and explosive battles of other fighters. His return to combat, strategic fighting style, and moments of genuine heroism reminded viewers that he was in just a footnote. He was a unique and valuable part of the Dragon Ball universe. But as the series progressed, the spotlight mostly stayed on Goku and Vegeta, while Gohan's story arc took a back seat once again. From Rage, it highlights Gohan's growth as a character who balances intellect with instinct, showing that his power comes not only from training but from emotional depth and responsibility. The film taps into his identity as a protector, a father, a hero, and someone willing to sacrifice everything for those he loves. After watching Gohan's power stagnate or diminish in the main series, Superhero presents a Gohan who is raw, fierce, and deeply connected to his warrior roots. This partnership reminds viewers of Gohan's unique place in the Dragon Ball world. A bridge between the old guard? It suggests that Gohan's story isn't finished, and that there's still room for him to grow as a warrior, as a protector, and as a symbol of potential finally realized. Gohan's story has been filled with incredible highs and frustrating lows. It's a powerful reminder that he is not just an academic or a side character. He is a fighter born from rage, love, and determination. He oscillated between brilliant fighter and reluctant participant, between hero and academic, sometimes in the same episode. This tug-of-war left many fans confused about who Gohan was supposed to be. Yet, the shift toward comedy, family life, and sidelined battles led many fans to feel his arc was left incomplete. After all, series seemed like the perfect opportunity to reboot and re-emphasize his legacy, to develop the character beyond the shadows of his past. Gohan had always struggled with his identity. Warrior or scholar, protector or pacifist. The film centers around Gohan stepping fully back into the spotlight, showcasing a new transformation dubbed Gohan Beast, or Ultimate Gohan, which emphasizes raw, instinctive power unlike anything seen before. A hero who once carried the fate of the universe became sidelined, with his priorities seemingly shifted away from fighting and toward a normal life, marriage, career, and family. In the Cell games, he becomes both. He steps into the role his father couldn't, saves the world, and still retains the emotional depth that sets him apart. Just when Gohan was poised to lead the next generation of fighters, Dragon Ball veered into comedy and slice-of-life territory with the introduction of the Great Saiyaman. Early arcs saw Gohan relegated to support roles, his immense potential barely tapped. While Goku and Vegeta chased new forms and godly powers, Gohan often came across as, well, distant from the action. His quiet life as a scholar continued to define him more than his warrior spirit. Welcome to the Dragon of Samsara, where we'll cover everything anime, from discussions to lore drops, Q&As, and what-ifs. Instead of continuing on the path of the ultimate warrior, he steps away from the battlefield entirely, trading his Super Saiyan armor for a school uniform and a superhero costume. When Goku is pinned and all hope seems lost, Gohan's raw emotional surge shatters the battlefield. And Raditz's armor, it's not just a moment of surprise, it's a warning shot, showrunners were telling us. This kid is going to matter. You'll find all the latest anime and manga news here. We post a video once a week, so consider subscribing if you like the video, so you don't miss the next one. Before we dive further into the topic. With Victory Uchida confirming that the Dragon Ball Super manga won't be returning this year, I'm going to focus more on video essays like this for the rest of the year. Gohan was never meant to be just another Saiyan. He stands toe-to-toe with the Ginyu Force, challenges Frieza, and continues to show bursts of unearned raw power. Still fears fighting, still hesitates, but when the stakes are high, he shows up. That duality becomes a hallmark of his arc. The boy who doesn't want to fight, but will rise when it matters most. From the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z, Gohan was framed as something different. Not just stronger than Goku, but more emotionally complex. For a while it looked like he would, but somewhere along the way, the momentum slowed. By the time Dragon Ball Super came around, Gohan, once poised as the future of the franchise, had become a background character. But is that fair? Has Gohan's arc truly been wasted? Or is it just different from what we expected? Let's break down how Dragon Ball built Gohan up, broke him down, and where his journey might still go. Part 2. Peak of Potential. Gohan's rise in Dragon Ball Z. Gohan's introduction in Dragon Ball Z was unlike anything the franchise had done before. The earliest indication of his importance arises during the battle with Raditz, and comes the training with Piccolo. It's easy to forget how brutal that phase of Gohan's life was. Fast forward to the Namek saga, and Gohan's development accelerates. But it all builds to the Cell saga, where Gohan's arc reaches its undeniable peak. From the moment Goku declares that Gohan has the power to defeat Cell, the narrative shifts. And that potential explodes in the most iconic moment of the arc, Gohan's transformation into Super Saiyan 2. It's not just another form, it's a culmination. And when he finally unleashes that power, the results are devastating. But what makes this moment legendary isn't just the fighting, it's what it represents. At that moment, Gohan wasn't just the strongest character in Dragon Ball. He was the most complete, and then it all changed. Part 3. The Great Saiyaman in the Decline, from hero to high schooler. After the emotional and narrative high of the Cell games, Gohan's story takes an unexpected turn. This shift was jarring for many fans, and it's easy to see why. On one hand, this was a bold choice. Gohan's new identity as a quirky, self-conscious hero trying to balance school life. But on the other hand, this transition undermined the momentum he'd built. Even during the Buu saga, when the stakes were world-ending, Gohan's role was frustratingly diminished. This period marked the beginning of what many fans consider the decline of Gohan's arc. Was this decline a failure of storytelling, or a deliberate choice to show a different kind of growth? That's a debate that continues among the fandom. When Dragon Ball Super began airing, many fans hoped Gohan would finally reclaim his place as a major player. At first, though, the show continued the trend of sidelining him. It began to change during the Tournament of Power arc. Here, Gohan finally got moments to shine again, yet even these moments felt fleeting. The Tournament of Power also underscored a recurring issue. Gohan's character development felt inconsistent. Dragon Ball Super teased a resurgence, a chance for Gohan to reclaim his rightful place as a top-tier warrior. Many fans viewed this as a missed opportunity, a chance wasted to explore the depth and complexity of a character who had once been the franchise's heart and soul. Still, despite the ups and downs, Gohan's role in Super wasn't without its merits. In Dragon Ball Super, superhero Gohan returns in a way few fans expected. Not just as a fighter, but as a symbol of untapped potential finally unleashed. This incarnation feels like a response to years of fan frustration. Dragon Ball Super brought mixed results. Moments of brilliance were overshadowed by inconsistent characterization and an ongoing struggle to balance his dual nature as a fighter and scholar. Gohan's journey is emblematic of the struggle between potential and reality. A reminder that growth isn't always linear, and that even the strongest heroes must find their own path. Whether future stories build on this new chapter, or revisit his past struggles,